Okay, sorry guys, but I just want to go ahead because I did just kind of like, I didn't want to leave y'all hanging like that, but we ain't got that much to go on the list. So the first thing was, the last thing I left on was number 4, start small and be consistent. So focus on one change at a time. Don't try to, be, hey girl, sorry about that, y'all. Don't try to be overzealous, crawl, take baby steps. So in my faith of holiness, we are oftentimes, coached by our ministers. I personally feel like a prisoner for Jesus Christ. When Paul said that, I felt that in my heart. I felt that in my heart. Okay. I feel like that today. You feel me? Like, I feel like holiness is one of the hardest things I've ever tried to do. Ever. 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 Okay? So, with that, I wanted to share that we are instructed to take our time. We are instructed to not rush the process, crawl before you walk, and walk before you run. And don't be doing the extra stuff with the hurdles and the 800 relay and the 800 and the sprints. Take your time. Take your time. Now, I'm a former track star, okay? So I know the little track terminology. All right, I did the 800. I did the 800, and then we also had an 800 relay too. So I did that. They wanted me to do the hurdles, and I was just like, I don't know about that. And then my friend popped her hip out of place, and that was that. So that was where we're at. Sarcy, hey Sarcy Anderson, you said, greetings sister. How long did it take for you to stop drinking? And also, how do you control the dopamine, the craving? Because the dopamine was that substance. How do you start with that? Okay, so for me, Sarcy, I just stopped cold turkey. I was in prayer a lot, and I'm not just saying this just to say this. I prayed a lot. I'm about to get to the next, number 5 is going to really answer your question. I started going to gym, and I started to create a pause between me and the thought and then the action. So the thought would be, I want a glass of wine. The pause would be, why? The action would be not getting it. Before, my flesh would say, I want a glass of wine, and then I went immediately into the action. You have to create a pause in between, and in that pause, when you do that, you have to now put the action to be something else. So when I wanted a glass of wine, and I would then follow up with asking myself why, maybe thinking about like what comes after this. I would then, go into prayer. I just spent, whenever I wanted wine, I would spend more time with Legend. Like, it would be different things that I did to create that separation. I also just thought about who I am when I've had a glass of wine, which honestly I am no different. I really am. No, and that's a story for another day. But there is no difference. However, I am under the influence of wine, so there is, you're not coherent 100%. So I just thought about all of those scenarios, and that's one thing that I did. But it takes time. God is the reason why, not me. I would pray, and I would ask God to remove the desire and the taste from my mouth. And every time I wanted to have wine, I thought about that. I thought I would pray to God and ask him to help me. And then I stopped putting myself in situations that would cause me to want the wine, which goes into number 5, guys. Change your environment. Design your physical space to support your new lifestyle. Remove temptations. Hey, bless, and visual cues. Remove temptations and add visible cues for your new habit, like a vision board or a sticky note or a screensaver. So this is what I did. When I'm going to keep using wine as an example just to stay consistent. So I made a checklist whenever, and I put it on the refrigerator, and I put it on my mirror in the bathroom. And every time I wanted to have a glass of wine, it will be on the refrigerator, and I will have my checklist there. And it would says, read a book or read a chapter, pray, play a game with legend, something else will be on there. Oh, have a pause. What is why? Call somebody, call a friend. Hey, Tony Nixon. Hey, Goyo. These are the things that I did to help me to not to not have the glass of wine, right? And from there, that's how it happened. So that was one of the things that I did. I replaced it and I put visuals up for me to see exactly what I want to do and what I wanted to achieve. Now, it's easier said than done. So this is where we go into change your environment. I stopped purchasing the thing that was causing me to drink, which is wine. I stopped purchasing it. I stopped going to the store. I never walked down the aisle. I would ignore it. I didn't put myself in environments where I knew I could be tempted, and then when the test came along, which is, let's say I'm at a family function and, they're drinking, I had to be solid enough to understand, why, if you have a glass of wine or a wine cooler or whatever, you're going to basically, everything that you've been doing up to now will be a waste. So don't sacrifice that just for a moment. So that was another thing, was realizing how far I had came without doing that, so that way I can keep going and not feel like I need that to help me be in a social setting or talk to people. So these are the things. You have to change your environment. I moved into my own place. I separated myself from the people, places, and things that was holding me back. I was in an environment where I don't think the person that was in my life wanted me to do better, wanted me to have more. Hey, Arlette, wanted me to have more, wanted me to be more. I feel like he wanted me to stay exactly where I was, and because that helped him be comfortable. But like I shared with you guys in part 1, that's not my motto. That's not how I get down. I can't stay in the same spot. Even though I might be there for a little bit, I'm going to keep striving to want more, do more, be more. So change your environment. Get away from the people that's causing you to do the things that you don't want to do. Now, you're not going to be able to, let's be realistic here, you're not going to be able to control every environment. You're not going to be able to be in every environment where it's catering to you, your beliefs, and your values. That's where you have to step in and be the responsible person and not backslide or double back or go to a place that you don't want to go. You have to be strong enough to stay 10 toes down. It's when you stay 10 toes down that you start to reflect the true God that you are serving. When I went around my family and friends and they would be having wine and drinking and things like that, and because I wanted to spend time with my family, I did not drink. However, my why, remember we started this conversation off with a why. My why was stronger than the desire to have a glass of wine. And I was not drinking. First of all, I did not go around. I stopped and I kept it to myself, and I started to walk and move and embody exactly what I wanted. So when I came around my family and my friends and they would be doing what they want to do, and then I would be there, maybe it could be an event, maybe it could be celebrating someone's birthday, and I got invited, and I'm there. I'm not gonna, my friends and family, they would try to be around me because they saw that I was standing 10 toes down for what I wanted and what I believed. And that is where you have to be the responsible adult. You have to be the one who makes the sound decision. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because I'm in an environment where people are doing that. However, you do have to work yourself up to be in that position. You don't quit today and then go into the environment tomorrow thinking you're strong enough to be there. That you're not. But you have to work your way up to that. But you cannot live in your bubble of values and then think that everybody around you is going to sit in that value with you. Now, my family and friends, they love me. So, of course, I'm going to have a different response from them by them respecting my values and my decisions versus someone that I work with. If I'm at a corporate meeting or a meeting or something like that, or having a lunch and my supervisor decides to have a glass of wine, or if I had a masculine supervisor or a male and they wanted to have a beer, I can't tell that person, no, you can't have that, and now I can't be at this meeting. That's ridiculous. You have to start thinking smart. You can't control the people around you, but you can control yourself. And when you control yourself, then you're showing them that, oh wow, Elvira really is standing 10 toes down on what she believes and what she wants. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I had to do that. And you have to change your mindset. So change your environment, get around people, places, and things that support your values. I had to start feeding more into my YouTube channel because you all are people that are similar on the same journey as I am, and you guys can relate to you guys can relate to the walk. We all know holiness is hard. We all are familiar with the strictness and like the intensity of holiness. So it can get a little mudded a little bit when it comes to things like that. So when I come on here, I like talking to y'all because you all make me feel like, okay, the things that I'm doing is not in vain. And that is very helpful for me. So change your environment. The next thing is that you want to use identity-based goals. So instead of saying, I want to do something, say that I am doing it, and work on that goal 1% each day. You have to, once again, it's like you got to be a little delusional when it comes to yourself. You got to be a little delulu. You got to fake it until you make it. You got to make sure that what you are saying and doing is making sense. So with that, you have to have identity-based goals. You have to see yourself in that place. That is one of the most beautiful things that you could ever do, is be able to have a vision, to be able to be forward thinking, have foresight, to believe in yourself more than you want others to believe in you. And the only way I learned how to do that is through loving God. Because when you love God and you put God first, in a way, you're putting yourself first, because you're putting your mental health first, your prayer first, your solitude first. All of these things is what you are doing. So you have to be mindful of that as well. Like, what am I doing and what do I want? What do you want? What do you want? What kind of life do you want to live? What is your dream? What is your home? What kind of home would you love to have? What neighborhood and environment would you like to be in? You have to at least know where you're going, and you have to envision those things in order to get there. Because just sitting around praying and fasting and not doing any action ain't gonna get you nowhere. It's not gonna get you nowhere. You could be filled and all of these things, but if you ain't putting no action to what you want, you ain't gonna get nowhere. You're not. You can't just sit around and just call on the Lord and then nothing. You ain't doing nothing. That don't make no sense. You ain't doing nothing. Like, you want to be a writer, but you're not even writing a paragraph a day. You want whatever you want. You want to own your own business. You want to have a commercial retail location, and you're not even out window shopping. You may not even be able to afford the commercial space just yet, but you ain't even out window shopping for it. You ain't even on Zillow just looking at what the price is going for. you got to put action to it, right? So you got to identify and align your daily life to reflect the things that you want. Align your daily life to reflect where it is that you want to go and what you want to do. When you align your daily life according to that, then you become a person who understands a little bit more, okay? So then the seventh thing, we only got 8 things, so we're about to close up. So you want to leverage accountability and support. So I just shared that with you guys. You all hold me accountable. You all keep me on my toes, you know. Even my sisters and brothers that follow me on social media, you guys keep me on my path. You want to know why? Because you guys are watching me. You guys are looking at me. I said that I'm in holiness, but what is my walk like? So because I have people watching me, not just my son, all of y'all, not saying that y'all watching me like that, but you guys, you're watching me right now. So I have to be mindful of that. You know, I'm a goofball. I'm funny. I'm hilarious. I love to laugh. I can go on Instagram and watch a reel and find some enjoyment of it and not be so deep about it and be like, oh, they ain't in, they doing this, they playing this kind of music, they laughing, like, the reel is funny. The reel is funny. I can laugh at the reel. I can have a good time laughing at the reel, you know? So I just, you want to make sure that you are not, like I said, you want to be real to yourself, but you also want to be able to, you know, be realistic. That's what Minister Lodge preached on last night. Being realistic. You live in a real world that have problems, that have issues. And sometimes I just want to get on social media and I just want to laugh. And I just want to have fun. And I just want to share memes with my best friend and laugh. And I want to put stuff on my stories and y'all laugh too. But then again, like I say, you all keep me accountable that I don't fall off on the wayside going too far left. You know, it allows me to be consistent and understand that, okay, while that is funny, I need to know, I need to come back and check my spirit. So, and building an environment in a community around people that, one, hold you accountable. You got to be around people that's going to leverage your accountability. You need to get friends. You need to have friends. You need to have a group of people that's going to let you know, hey, Paulette, that's going to let you know, hey, you too far left. I don't know if you know this or not, but you a little too far left for me. I'm going to need you to bring it back around, Elvira. That type of support system, when people are not yes men in your life, are the type of support systems that you need, okay? So there are different levels. You don't have to be a yes man or things like that. Like, you can actually give your friends and family sound advice. Okay. So also another thing is that if you don't have a community, use yourself. Use the devices around you. So when I wanted to incorporate prayer more into my lifestyle, I made a calendar invite on my phone at 8 in the morning, 11 in the morning, and then again at 6 p.m. Those are the hours of the day that I decided to pray. So when I hear my phone go off and it shows me a notification, I need to get down in prayer. I need to pray. I need to do something. Okay, so I put notifications on my calendar to motivate me, to hold me accountable for, praying. Another thing that I did was, I was trying to think, I said, I made a schedule when I needed to go to the gym. ChatGPT is one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I be telling ChatGPT, I want to do this, and this. Design a schedule for me that supports this. And that's exactly what she did, or he did, because my ChatGPT got a male voice. So I use ChatGPT to help me outline my life. I said, ChatGPT, I want to wake up at this time. I want to do these things in the morning before I go, and then I want to do this, and this. And ChatGPT was like, bet. And it designed me an outline of what I wanted to do. So find little things that you can hold yourself accountable with. I have a planner, and in my planner it does like the check-offs, and I can identify things that I've accomplished and things that I didn't accomplish. So just be mindful of that. And the next thing is reflect and adjust accordingly and regularly. So, weekly and monthly check-ins with yourself. One of the other things is that if you have an Apple Watch, if you have a fitness tracker to track your steps, that's a perfect way for you to sit back and say, okay, did I hit my steps yesterday? Was I consistent? Did I do this, and this? No? Okay, so I need to follow up with this, and this. Find people that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to motivate you. So when we were hitting our 10K steps a day, there were sisters that was hitting 20K, 15K, 19K, 14K. And I'm like, wow, that motivated me to do better tomorrow, to have a little healthy competition in there, to help me say, like, you know what, hey, I need to do that. I need to level up my consistency a little bit. So make sure you're doing that. Next is practice self-compassion. This is something I struggle with. We're always harder on ourselves than we are on others. So oftentimes we are hard on ourselves. We talk down to ourselves. We don't give ourselves compassion. We're not kind to ourselves. And that can become an issue. When you're not speaking positive words into yourself, it can become an issue. So setbacks are normal. You're going to have a week where you weren't able to hit your steps, but you're going to be consistent enough to get it done. You got to learn for your mishaps. So what did you learn? Okay, you stumbled a little bit. You sinned. You did a little something you weren't supposed to do, and you know that because the conviction is in your heart. You feel pricked. Okay, so now you learn from that experience. You choose not to do that anymore, and then you move accordingly and you move forward. You got to move forward. You can't stay in the past. The past is gone. But stay consistent and be compassionate with yourself as you are navigating life, and just be kind. Be kind to you first. Be kind to you first. And then the last thing, which I kind of already spoke on, is visualize and embody your future. Whoever you want to be, what does that person do every single day? How do they take care of themselves, and what do they do in the meantime? Are they on their phone a lot, or do they, detach from their phone? Do they eat healthy, or are you a fast food eater? You have to basically design your life to the visualization that you have of yourself in the future. And it may be a little bit hard to do at first, but as we said earlier, you do it one step at a time. Yes, I understand that the main objective in this life is to meet God again and to have salvation. But while you are in this life, it does not mean it has to be sucky, bad, poor, unfulfilled. You don't have to be money hungry, but you don't also have to be, so focused on money. But money does help. Money is what makes things move. Money is what helps things be. Money is how the world goes around. So you do have to have some form of ambition about yourself, to the point where you are realizing that, hey, though I may not be able to, be in this position right now, I need something to motivate me to get there. And just stay there and be happy there. And don't try to move too fast. Don't move too fast too soon. And before I leave, because I gotta go, don't share nothing with nobody. I struggle with this because I love to talk, as y'all can see. And I love to include my friends and my family into what I am doing. And what I have learned is that everyone is not cheering for you, and everyone does not want you to do well. And they're cool with you being who you are, as long as you're not bigger than them, as long as you're not better than them, as long as you don't have what they have. They'll motivate you all day long, But the moment you show up with something better than them, or the moment you show them that you're willing to go the mile to get the things that you want, oh, all of a sudden they looking at you sideways. Like, wait a minute. Who told you you could be better than me? Who told you you drive a car better than mine? Who told you you can go to, the islands in Aruba? Who told you that? Uh-uh. You can't be better than me. Be mindful of those types of people too, because they exist. They cool with you until you start doing better than them. So I want you guys to think about this. This is part 2. There is a part 1 up. You can go back and listen to that. And then with that, I'll go ahead and knock off and see you guys later. Sorry I couldn't engage with you guys in the chat, but I'm driving and I gotta go. I'm a little late, so I gotta talk to you guys another time. My goal is to come on tonight, but I keep saying that, but I be having other obligations that are important to me. And sometimes, I do fall short with following up with you guys on my channel. But I just hope these last 2 videos that I did brought you all some contentment and happiness. And if you have anything, please leave a comment on the stream, and once the video goes live, please leave a comment. But that's all, folks. I love you guys. Happy Friday. We got clear skies, but I don't know how long they're gonna last because we've been getting a lot of rain down here in NC. But I love you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.